Hello.
So the section of the book that I found really interesting and wanted to talk about starts on page 205, where it talks about Cole's the values that Americans live by. The book talks about how it's hard to list like specific values because there's so many exceptions and so many contradictions because of all the different people living here and all the different backgrounds that people have. Um, like just looking at politics is what I think of. Like you're not going to get a value in politics that everyone holds true, like pro-life, pro-choice. You're not going to find something that everyone agrees upon. Kim points out that there are similar characteristics that all Americans share regardless of their age, race, gender, or ethnicity. The book also talks about how in order to understand other cultures, we have to understand our own so we can have like a reference point to compare other cultures to. The first value Americans live by is personal control over nature, which is shown by building an interstate highway system, dams to hold back water, tunnels through mountains and bridges and stuff like that. Um, they become part of our everyday life, and I never would have even considered them as a value, but like it makes sense. It's just like I did not think of, oh, a bridge and a tunnel can be a value that all Americans hold true, but we do. Another value that's important to American is change, which I can definitely see as an important value because we're constantly improving and progressing our nation through modernization. For me, change is something that I've always been very open to. Growing up, my parents did foster care, so I've like never really had a normal home situation. Like we were constantly bringing new kids into our house, saying goodbye to other kids. So many different, personalities coming in and out, and it's really taught me to be flexible and go with the flow and to invite change into my life. The third value listed is time and its control, which I definitely can see that it's something most people in America prioritize because time is very valuable for us and it's pretty inflexible. Like if you're supposed to be at work at 8 o'clock, you need to be there at 8 o'clock, if not earlier, no exceptions. Like that's just how we are. Like if you're supposed to be somewhere, you better be there. A couple summers ago, I went on a mission trip to Uganda, and it was interesting because time means nothing there. Like they would say that church would start at 10, but so we'd get there at like 9:45, and church wouldn't actually start until like at least 11 at the earliest. Like because they would just wait for everyone to show up, and then they'd sit around and talk, and like it was just interesting, but it was also like a little frustrating to us coming from America because we're so used to like if you need to be there at 10 a.m., you need to be there at 10 a.m. Like time is really valuable for us. So I feel like it was a really important lesson for me to learn that like sometimes taking the time to talk to other people is more important than like starting on time, I guess. I don't really have time to talk about all the values that he listed, but I can list them. There's other values that Americans hold true is equality, individuality, self-help, competition, future orientation, work orientation, informality, honesty, practicality, and materialism, which are all pretty self-explanatory, and you can definitely see how us as Americans hold those as priorities.